Hello everyone, glad to have you back. Do you remember when I said this? So, it's time for the last game, F-Zero Climax. Like Triple Legend, Climax has a lot of potential. They are very similar, yet so different, if that makes sense. It's obviously going to be harder, but still doable, I think. Yep, I'm doing F-Zero Climax now, and oh boy, let me tell you, this has been a lot of fun. And a lot of pain as well, but more on that later. I highly recommend you go watch my Triple Legend Boostless video first, but if you have already seen it or aren't interested in watching a 40-minute video, that is fine. So, can you beat F-Zero Climax without boosting? That is a fantastic question, and I'm gonna try my best to answer it with yes this time. Once again, no boosting, so this isn't allowed. Boost starts, boost pads, mines and all that are of course allowed. Like Triple Legend, there are multiple modes to complete in order to beat the game. Grand Prix on Master difficulty, all 4 classes of the Zero test, Survival, and the Championship course. Like before, I'm starting on a fresh save, so we only have 5 machines to start, and I'm unlocking the rest as I'm progressing through the game. So, without any further ado, let's begin the Grand Prix. In order to unlock Master difficulty, we first have to beat 1 cup on Master. For this challenge, I chose the Bronze Cup. It's the easiest, obviously. My machine of choice is the Golden Fox. Probably not the best choice, but one that I really like in Climax. I really don't want to spend too much time on Expert though, so you'll only get a short summary. If you really care about the complete races, check the description or my pinned comment soon. Like with Triple Legend, I'm gonna upload an unlisted video with every race completed in the next few days. Mute City is basic, not a real challenge in my opinion. Pretty much the same applies to Whiteland. Just take the shortcut at the end and it becomes very easy. Big Brew could have ended better, but well, mistakes happen sometimes. Porton is quite long and well, quite a bit boring as well. It could have been better, but you know, doesn't really matter in the end, to be honest. On Red Canyon it started to become obvious that the Golden Fox isn't the fastest machine without boosting, but I suppose second is good enough. And well, that's the Bronze Cup on Expert for you. Now we can start to talk about the more interesting stuff. I started with the Silver Cup on Master. I kinda struggled with the Bronze Cup, so I tried this one first. Once again, I'm using the Golden Fox. We start in Mute City. It's quickly obvious that there's a big difference between Expert and Master. I actually had to restart once because I made too many mistakes. Master difficulty doesn't leave much room for error. It was a close race, but I finished first. Moving on to Mist Flow, and it's long and boring. I can't believe I'm saying that again. The long stretches without boost pads really are something, but by taking the corners as tight as possible, it was doable. Sadly not first with this machine though. Maybe a faster machine could do it, but as I already said, it's not that important. Only the final rank matters in the end. Next up is Lightning, and I absolutely love this track. Don't know why, but I just really like this one. It's also one of the shortest tracks, if not the shortest one in the entire game. I'm not sure if my path is the fastest, but it seemed good, so I stuck with it. Not much to look out for, just another track that's hard to win with a machine like this, and especially if you are not boosting. Here on Firefield you will see something that's gonna happen quite a bit during this challenge, style attacks. I'm actively trying to destroy my opponents to make up for races I didn't finish first in. They don't get any points, so it's easier for me to finish as first when it comes to points. Yes, it is cheap, but hey, I'm just using game mechanics. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know why I didn't skip with this jump here. Could have finished first, but at this point it really didn't matter that much anyway. Let's just move on to the Gold Cup. I still haven't unlocked the machine that I want to use, so it's the Golden Fox once more. Yeah, on this one I really couldn't do better than third. It's a pretty annoying track to be honest, and with the obviously cheating opponents, it's not that easy to finish in any higher position than third. On Whiteland I probably chose the wrong path, but third is good enough, I guess. I really like the mechanic on this track. It reminds me a lot of Deathwind from the original F-Zero. It was a bad race though, I know, but as you know already, it doesn't really matter in the end. I've got side attacks that I can use to make up for the races I lost, so I'm just gonna resort to using that. Big Blue is up next, and I just don't know if you could ever win on this track without boosting with any machine. It just doesn't offer anything to help you, except a few boost pads. The jumps just take away too much speed and the opponents are cheating anyway, so why even bother? As our final track we have Illusion, and as I said in my Cheaper Legend video, Illusion is probably one of the most boring tracks in the game. It only has one challenge, no guardrails. If you screw up, you just start from the beginning. No need to try and catch up. Yeah, pretty much. I had to go for destruction on the Crazy Bear in order to win, so I did just that and finished first. Even with such bad races, it is 100% possible to win. Time for the Platinum Cup, and I finally have unlocked the machine I was waiting for, the Dragonbird EX. I absolutely love this machine. It's pretty much the best in the game, with the exception of the Crazy Bear of course, but I can barely use that one, so I'll stick with this. Mute City is easy, take a shortcut and win. I remember my struggles with this particular track in the past. I really don't understand, but it just seems like the other races are especially aggressive on this one. I don't know why, to be honest. Anyway, it is quite difficult to win on this one, so I guess 4th place is good enough for this race. I really enjoy Silence. Great track for this machine as well, pretty easy to win. Mainly because you can slide through all these corners pretty well. Port 1 is a great track, I really like it. And the Dragonbird EX is just amazing on here. It just slides so smoothly through all the corners. Could have been an easy win, but I made a mistake right at the end and got punished instantly. Yep, that's master difficulty for you. Red Canyon is short and pretty basic. Not a lot that can go wrong here. Sand Ocean is back, and you know that I dislike this track if you have seen Cheaper Legend Boostless. Anyway, it's easier here. You just have better control over your machine, and it's just 3 laps instead of 5, so that's also a big plus in my opinion. You should also know my opinion about this track if you have seen Cheaper Legend Boostless. I like it, and I got a close 1st place. Finally, we have good old Firefield. This track is always fun. Doesn't matter that I've played it in 3 different games by now. I doubt it's possible to win on here though, but 4th place is once again just enough to get 1st in the total ranking. So the Platinum Cup is complete. Just 1 more left. Last but definitely not least is the Bronze Cup on Master difficulty. Again, I'm using the Dragonbird EX. Red Canyon is an okay track, but once again one of those tracks that's just incredibly difficult to win when you can't use your booster. Sadly no wind mechanic on this Sand Ocean track. Still an interesting course though. I like it. Pretty fun. Lightning is average, it's just one of those tracks that don't offer anything interesting. I tried my best to finish first, but this long straight at the end killed it. Maybe if there were a boost pad on mine it would have been possible, but that's not here, so 3rd place it is. We have pretty much seen this exact track already, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. I used this opportunity to destroy the Wonder Wasp to make it easier for me, and just like Lightning, we have this super long track right before the finish line, so I doubt it's possible to win. And finally, there's Whiteland, and just like the version before, use the shortcut and you should be fine. It's hard to win on here, especially if the opponents cheat, but I'm sure you knew that by now. Also, would you look at that? That's what I call a close finish. So, the Grand Prix is done. I'm sure you noticed I didn't put too much effort into it. That's because I already did this exact thing 4 years ago. I knew it was possible, so I didn't need to do anything fancy. I could try to win every race, but honestly, for what? It doesn't matter. Also, the next few things might be more interesting, so let's move on. Zero Test is back. This time there are only 9 challenges per class, but that's fine. C1, short track with a corner. Nothing to go wrong here. C2, wide corner with a machine that has great handling. Pretty easy as well. C3, just a 180-degree corner with the Dragonbird. Should be easy enough, right? Well, no. This one was quite tricky, to be honest. You don't get a boost start, so that's not good, and you barely have enough time. But if you just take the corner as tightly as possible, you can finish with the exact amount of time you need to get a bronze cup. Well, it doesn't really count. You gotta beat the time, so try to improve on it. This is good enough. C4, a few turns and an okay machine. No boost pads or anything, not much to do here. C5, sharp turns with a below average machine. Not that hard if you take the jump and don't bump into any of the corners. C6, I had my doubts about this one, since there is this long track here, but the boost pads are enough to make it possible. C7, this one is brutal, and I really mean that. I have put so many attempts into this, and in the first version of the script it was labeled as impossible. As I was getting more footage for the video, I somehow unlocked the narrow turn option, so I immediately went back into this mission and got some good results. It still took a lot of attempts, but I eventually got it. C8, another easy one. Be sure to hit the boost pads just in case. C9, the first full lap test, and while it seems easy, it actually isn't. Not even close. The timer is incredibly hard to beat, and I haven't been able to do it yet, so let's just keep this one for later. Now, I know this kinda means we can't beat Climax without boosting, but as I just said, I wanna do the rest first. Technically, I haven't unlocked it, but just play along, alright? I promise there's gonna be an explanation soon enough. B1. It's really important to hit the boost start here and take the shortcut, but even with a little bump at the end, it's possible. B2. Here you really gotta watch out not to take this corner too tight. Like many other machines, the Wild Boar loses a lot of speed very quickly when you take turns like this. B3. Ah yes, the Twin Norita. A great machine. You don't get a boost start, so hit this boost pad and you should be fine. B4. This one looks super easy, but the great star just sucks. It takes some getting used to, but it's fine in the end if you just hit the boost start and don't slow down too much. B5. Here we have a rather large portion of this track and only a single boost pad. Don't hit these grey patches and it's possible. B6. The Sonic Phantom is another machine that loses speed when taking turns too hard, so watch out not to lose too much speed in this corner and you will be fine. B7. This one could have been in Class C. It's so unbelievably easy. Okay machine and a few boost pads. What else could I ask for? B8. This is another mission that I thought wasn't possible at first, but like before, as soon as I unlocked the narrow turn option, I went back and gave it a few tries. It took me even longer than the previous one, but I managed to do it. B9. I initially thought this one is gonna be hard, but guess what? It wasn't. I really wanted to get sub 30, but I wasn't able to. Sad, I know. Class B is completely possible. Nice. Moving on to Class A. A1. Class A starts off with a tough one. Well, kinda tough. It took me a few attempts, but in the end it wasn't as bad as I imagined it to be. I'm kinda disappointed the Moonshadow isn't that great of a machine in Climax, but well, it's alright I guess. A2. Again on Whiteland. It really starts to get boring after a while, doesn't it? Alright machine, okay track, kinda easy mission. The soldier anchor is surprisingly good to be honest. I never really used it before. Maybe I should use it more often. A3. A random full lap test here. I'm repeating myself, but I don't know if this path was good, but it doesn't matter. I beat the time, so I guess it was the right decision in the end. A4. Hairpin turns with a machine that handles this bad. Oh wait, the Green Panther doesn't lose that much speed when taking turns. This was surprisingly easy. The Green Panther is honestly among my favorite machines in Climax. Weird, I know. A5. Oh wow, It's a crazy bear. A machine I can't use properly. Doesn't matter. You got hours to beat this one. Well, okay, not hours, but you get what I mean. A6. This is an okay challenge. Would you believe I did the same thing like before where I finished with the exact time for bronze? Well, I did, so I had to do it again, but just a little bit faster on the second attempt. A7. This is basically just an advanced version of C1, so nothing too difficult. A8. Another full lap test. It's actually harder than I imagined. Might be because the depth anchor isn't that good in this game. A9. And the last mission for Class A is one with the Dragon Bird EX, so you just know it's possible because this machine is just perfect in every way. I absolutely love it. Surprisingly, Class A was completely possible. Let's hope the same thing is true for Class S. S1, we are back on this track and this time I'm using the jump. I don't know if you need to, but I did it and beat it like that. Don't forget to hit this boost pad as well, because why not? Extra speed is always appreciated in the zero test. S2, hit the boost start. Slide perfectly through every single corner and you're gonna win like it's not even a challenge fit for Class S. Could have been in Class B in my opinion. S3, painful but possible. Not gonna lie, this was already in the script label as impossible, but I went back and tried a different strategy which worked out really well in the end. What changed was using side attacks at the beginning instead of just mashing A and praying not to lose too much grip. Why didn't I think of that earlier? S4. And from a really painful and difficult mission, we get this. This is an absolute joke of a mission. Even when you have a major mistake like I had, you can beat it without boosting. It's incredible how easy this one is. S5. Like the normal depth anchor, the hyper depth anchor loses a lot of speed when taking turns, so just keep that in mind for these corners. S6. Finally we get some mine action. Don't hit them by the way. If you do it normally, it's possible anyway, so why even bother with inconsistent mines? I know I could have gotten faster by cutting through them, but does it really matter in the end? S7, a classic one lap test. This track has a shortcut, so use it. This is quite easy as long as you don't have any major accidents. This is rather easy for Class S, but it's in line with the first full lap test on Class S in F-Zero GP Legend, so it's fine in my opinion. S8. Oh wow, what a surprise. In the Sand Ocean, the zero test once again. I sure hope this is possible, cause if it isn't, then I'm gonna get very, very angry. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. S9. How original. The final mission is an illusion. With the Black Bull. You don't even have to hit every boost pad to be that. A pathetic excuse for a final challenge. Unbelievable. I'm disappointed. And with that, we are done with the zero test. With one exception. Z9. You gotta beat 22 seconds. There isn't anything really limiting here. The Queen Meteor is fine, and the track is also okay. This is a 100% execution and just requires a lot of skill to beat. I'm sure this is doable. Almost 100% to be honest with you. Why you might ask? Well, my best is 22.05. Just 0.06 seconds too slow. I wanted to continue pushing to get it lower, but I just couldn't do it. This was also the only run I had that was below 22.10, so I might just have been lucky, but who knows. I will surely continue to try and improve on this one. Maybe you can beat it. Give it a try. Now we have to look at survival mode, and with survival comes a big challenge. What counts as a completed game? If you are a completionist, you technically have to beat all 4 difficulties with every single machine. There are 39 different machines in Climax. 4 times 39 is 156. I'm sorry, but I'm simply not going to do 156 runs just to beat it with every machine. I have a different way of measuring if it's possible. Let's begin with the easiest difficulty, Tour. Tour has the same 5 missions with pretty much every machine. Short race on Mist Throw, 1 lap race on Sand Ocean, Straight Link 1, Slalom Link 1, and finally a 3 lap race on Firefield. If you use one of the machines featured as an opponent, that race is going to be replaced by Top Keep on Whiteland. Due to the limited number of missions and the fact that they are incredibly easy, I am sure they are possible with every single machine. I tested a handful and I did it with every machine I tested, so I am 100% sure you can do it as well. Next is challenge difficulty. Just like the previous difficulty, we have a set of 8 fixed missions. 1 lap race on Port Tom, Slalom Link 2, Top Keep on Mist Throw, Short Race on Lightning, Speed 800 on Firefield, Straight Link 2, Break Link 1, and finally a 3 lap race on Silence. Just like before, if you use one of the 8 machines used in the challenges, that challenge is going to be replaced by something different. A 1 lap race on Big Blue. You could pretty much repeat exactly what I said before. The missions are rather easy, a bit harder than Tour though, and there's not a lot that can go wrong. I also tested a handful of machines here and I managed to beat it with every single one, so I think there's enough confirmation for me. Battle difficulty is where it starts to get interesting. Mainly because of the increased difficulty of your opponents and the kind of randomized missions. There are 10 in total, but the order of missions is random each time you play, so that's something I guess. The 10 available missions are No Crash on Mute City, Speed 800 on Whiteland, Slalom Link 3, Break Link 2, Death Race on Big Blue, Short Race on Silence, Straight Link 3, 3 lap race on Firefield, Short Race on Sand Ocean, and finally Top Keep on Sand Ocean. And once again, if you use one of the machines featured as an opponent, you will get a 1 lap race on Mist Flow instead. Like before, most missions are pretty easy. There are a few that can be quite a challenge for some weaker machines, like Top Keep for example. The straight at the start is pretty long, and you could fall back to second place quite easily. Straight and Slalom Link 3 can also be difficult with some machines, but they were possible with every single one I've tested. The only real problem is the 3 lap race. It can get pretty hard sometimes, but with enough practice I have been able to do it with the machines I tested. Violence is the last difficulty, and oh boy does that name fit. Most of the time I spent on this video was used here. Just like Battle, the missions aren't fixed. There's a rather large number of available missions and they get chosen at random, so on some runs you could get 3 death races in a row and on another you won't even do a single one. I played until I felt like I had gotten every possible mission, and I'm sure I did just that. Here's a list of every mission available on Violence. 5 short races, 1 on Red Canyon, 1 on Whiteland, 1 on Big Blue, 1 on Illusion, and the final one on Port Town. 2 one-lap races, both of them on different Sand Ocean tracks. 3 3-lap races, 1 on Big Blue, 1 on Whiteland, and the last one on Silence. 4 death races, 1 on Silence, 1 on Mist Throw, 1 on Red Canyon, and the last one on Illusion. 3 Top Keep races, 1 on Mute City, 1 on Firefield, and 1 on Port Town. 2 Speed 800 races, 1 on Mute City, and the other one is on Whiteland. A single no crash race on Sand Ocean. And then you have the usual Straight Link 4, Slalom Link 4, and last but not least, Break Link 3. Here I have more to talk about because some missions might be impossible with some machines. Let's get the easy ones out of the way first. Straight, slalom and brake link are all possible. You might have to do a side attack to hit your opponent depending on your and their machine. All 1 lap, 3 lap and death races are also possible. You might have to use some side attacks in order to win. Both speed 800 races are also possible, but could be difficult when using a rather slow machine, especially on your city. No crash may require the following trick to make it possible. Use a boost start and get your opponent to crash into you as close to a jump as possible. As soon as they respawn, they will go for a jump and crash. You will do the same, but you get reset while they just get eliminated. 4 out of the 5 short races are possible with all the machines I've tested. The one that isn't is Port Town. There are a lot of jumps and most, if not all machines, lose speed when jumping. I know you can hold up on the D-pad to land earlier, but it's hard to do and the payoff usually isn't worth it. I've come close to winning a few times, but the only machine I was able to do it with was the Night Thunder. I'm sure more machines can do it. Out of the 3 top keep races, only one proves to be a challenge. Port Town. It is the only race I haven't been able to beat with any machine so far. Maybe it's possible, maybe it isn't. Be sure to give this one a try. So, technically speaking, it's possible to get a run with just possible missions, so you don't have to boost at all. I'm sure this is doable with every machine. Some might have an advantage, like the Night Thunder, which was able to beat the short race on Port Town, or the Dragonbird EX, because it's just an amazing machine. So, if you just do enough runs with every machine, you will eventually get one that's possible. And I think that's alright if I call it doable. Finally, we have the championship race, and while I'd love to do the same thing I did in Cheaper Legend, I just can't. There's no time to beat here, it's just a standard time like on every other time attack. Boring, I know. I still did it. This is my best time. Go and beat it if you want to. I really don't care too much about this one. F-Zero Climax is a great game. I really enjoyed doing this challenge. It was a lot of fun and, honestly, quite painful sometimes. I can't tell you how many hours I've put into this to really make sure I'm not missing anything. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you haven't already, check out my video on Cheaper Legend where I tried the same challenge. It's also pretty interesting. Let's now ask the question from the beginning one last time. Can I beat F-Zero Climax without boosting? Yes. Kinda. I wasn't able to do C9 in the Zero test and a few races with sharp machines in survival, but I'm sure some of you are able to do just that. This is a way better result than I expected, to be honest. Finally, I quickly want to talk about my future plans for this channel. For 2022, I made it one of my goals to upload consistently to this channel. At the moment, I'm going to continue uploading 1 video per month, which isn't a lot, but I will increase that to 2 videos per month as soon as possible. I won't make any promises here, so you just have to be patient. But hey, we are F-Zero fans, so being patient is already something we are very good at. Anyway, this is already long enough, and I won't keep you here for any longer. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.